Technologies, we have been talking about IVR, interactive voice response, for some time. But what exactly is IVR? In a nutshell, IVR can automate any repetitive voice application and provide intelligent audible response, providing advanced call routing in a way that saves valuable time for the staff in the organisation and improves customer service by introducing a method of speeding up routing, directing an incoming caller to the right destination, and providing an automated service based on real-time conditions experienced on the phone system. Xarios have been providing custom IVR solutions for many years, but have recently introduced a series of pre-packaged applications covering the most popular IVR opportunities. This short video presentation will introduce these pre-packaged applications in a way that we feel will give you a clear understanding of what they can achieve, why your customer would want one, and some of the typical vertical applications that would suit. Whilst these applications will meet many of the typical environments, specific customizations are available. Just talk to your Xarios account manager for more information. Bill Perkins, our IVR specialist, is going to provide the answers to some of the questions we get asked. So Bill, let's talk about QMinder first. What is the QMinder application?
Well, the QMinder application allows callers to be called back rather than waiting in a hunt group for an infinite amount of time. This really helps in peak busy periods. Basically, the QMinder application is programmed into the My Voice Office 250 as an overflow to a hunt group. As and when that predetermined amount of time is reached, the IVR application is communicated with and presented on the line to that end user. The application will give them the offering of leaving a message and being called back either on the number that they're on or on a predetermined number that they are free to key in. At that moment in time, the end user can hang up the call and the QMinder application takes it and presents it to the agent as and when they are ready to make that call back.
How does it work?
Well, the real benefits to a business are reducing lost calls. You'll find in a lot of businesses, such as contact centres, they have peaks and troughs in their call traffic. You'll find that in busy periods of time they get a very high level of lost call rate where people just can't hang on for that amount of time, and obviously throughout the day there are low peak call traffic where the agents are free to make calls back. The whole idea of employing the QMinder IVR is that it can answer those calls on behalf of the organisation, and then those agents can call them back at times when they're not as busy. This way it flattens out the traffic for the day. Also, it means organisations can reach their service level agreements by actually meeting their targets and answering calls within the time that they're supposed to. Another benefit for the QMinder application is the customer experience. Nobody wants to be holding for an infinite amount of time. Thus the customer gets the call back and doesn't have to wait there.
Moving on to self-service call routing now, Bill. What is this?
So the self-service call routing IVR application goes off and pulls the information and communicates with a third-party database. Not only can it pull that information and then route the call accordingly, it can do a bit of a verification stage as well. So it can check for things like date of birth and then verify the caller and only put the caller through once that information has been verified. Finally, with use of the phone manager application and the banner, we're able to populate the information that's collected from the call routing IVR and place it on the agent's desktop so they're aware of who they're speaking to as and when they answer the call.
How does it work?
Well, it uses an ODBC connection, or basically a connection to the database, to communicate and pull that information in real time.
And what would be the benefits to a business?
But the real benefits to a business is saving agents time. When calls are coming in and that agent has to verify utilising the same information time and time again, it takes that stage away from the agent and frees up their time to deal with live calls. It also means that the caller gets to the right person every time and they're not having to repeat the same information to a fresh agent each time that they call in.
Now, intelligent agent routing.
Well, the agent routing IVR is a facility that isn't enabled by default inside the My Voice Office 250 PBX. The My Voice Office 250 PBX, you're able to route based on extension if you know it, but if you know the agent's ID, unfortunately you're unable to route on that. This is where the agent routing application really comes to its forefront, and you're able to punch in that agent ID, thus enabling continuity for the end user if they know which agent they're trying to get hold of. In the event where they can't get hold of that particular agent, the system will automatically go to a default location.
How does it work?
The agent routing IVR works at the beginning of a call, so as and when the call comes into the organisation, it will be passed to the agent routing IVR and answered. They will then be asked to punch in with their DTMF codes on their telephone what the agent ID is, and the system will automatically go and locate where they're logged into and pass the call to them accordingly. The real benefits of this to a business is continuity for the end user, the end user's experience. If they've been dealing with a particular agent throughout the course of their experience, then they're going to be able to speak to the same one time and time again.
Moving on now to Customer Announcement IVR. Again, perhaps you could explain what this application is.
The Announcement IVR is where organisations have to repeat the same information time and time again to their customers. For example, take car insurance. It might be that on completion of a sale of car insurance, you need to inform your customer of a certain amount of terms and conditions. Saying these terms and conditions over and over again is a waste of time for that agent. So by passing the call to the IVR, the Announcement IVR plays that information, ensuring that the accurate information is portrayed every single time. At the end of the announcement, the call is pulled back to the agent to complete the call. Again, whilst that announcement is being played, the agent is free to utilise their time more effectively.
How does it work?
Well, with the use of the Phone Manager application, a button can be placed on the application that enables the agent to press that button when they're ready to pass the call through to the announcement. It places the agent in a mute status, so the agent is still part of the call, and the IVR announcement is played to the end user.
Lastly, Bill, perhaps you could provide the answers to some of the questions that we may be asked. Is it easy to set up an IVR application in a business?
Well, first of all, to set up an IVR application, you need the IVR framework. Now, the IVR framework sits on either a physical server or a virtual server, and it connects to a PBX, specifically the My Voice Office 250 PBX, but it can connect to any PBX with SIP extension connectivity, and that's really how the two connect, via a SIP extension. The number of concurrent IVRs that can be played at any one time depends on the number, A, of licenses that you have, and B, on the number of SIP extensions to the PBX. Once you have the framework in place, you can build the applications as previously described.
Will this cause any downtime on the phone system?
No, there won't be any downtime for the PBX or the phone system, as the IVR framework sits on its own server. It's completely independent. All it's reliant on for the PBX is connecting via the SIP extensions, so you're free to reboot it, do maintenance, upgrade, without having any effect on installation or at any point in the future on the actual PBX, its connectivity or any of its calls.
And is there a large cost to install an IVR?
The cost of installing an IVR initially is the engineering time to install the IVR itself, typically a day, the IVR framework software itself, and the number of licenses to connect to your PBX. Each application is then licensed individually, depending on the number of applications you're running, is depending on the number of licenses that you need to purchase. Once purchased, that's it, it's yours, you own it.
That's great, Bill. Thank you very much for answering the questions. We hope you found this short presentation useful. However, if you do have any further questions, please make contact with your Xarios account manager, who will be more than happy to help.